loading screen's stuck. Oh well. I still can't believe that community poll stuff was the reason that I was losing so much viewership over a year and a half. Perkle! That's funny, because we just put up a meme about him in YouTube for Friday Night Fights advertising, because why not? But, you know, c'est la vie. Got a part-time job, so even if this all falls apart, that could go into full-time and I can still live my life, you know? So who gives a shit? So, Ruha. This is the map where I met Stone. Actually, that AO right there is where I met Stone. Long time ago. Good God. What an excellent man. He's the reason I got kept afloat over the past 2 years. How long have I been doing Zeusing? Since 2016.
Hello, hello.
Hey, Barb.
Hey. Nemesis is, I wouldn't say debating, but they're discussing bringing Iander back in since that one guy had to leave. But while they do that,
that's fair.
I was able to look over the roster, and we should have a very interesting round as well for the second round. Bunch of assets on both sides, BTRs for Red 4, M2 Humvees, and Little Birds for BLUFOR. They start over at the airfield, so that makes perfect sense. Yeah, it should be very interesting. And now looking at the AO just from the map, not too far of a distance from each spawn, but it's
going to be a tough one for OPFOR, though. I will say. I'll interject a little bit. Because the terminals are on the edges of the control zone, which means OPFOR doesn't have room to set up sentry sites around the terminal zones. So if they want to do an all eggs in one basket approach, it's going to be very, very tough.
Agreed. I think they should
see how that goes,
use the railroad line, like we've seen before on Ruha. Use that as a bit of a firm barrier because it's a nice straight line, fairly open. Should give them plenty of line of sight towards between, you know, as a barrier before the terminals. So could see that, but otherwise, yeah, they're not really gonna have a wide area of defense. They're gonna have to keep it pretty concentrated, which isn't always the best.
I'll be right back 1 second. I gotta answer something in chat. Alright, so on the note, Luba, I have mentored other Zeuses in the past. There's 2 ways that it's been done. First off, in TSB, I had a hand in creating all the framework for the Zeuses in there. So we know the Zeuses that we have in TSB are trustable. They make good stuff. I have I sign off on all that stuff. The second is through Patreon. I have mentored 5 different people through $250 a month thing, because mentoring Zeuses takes a lot of time and effort, and there's a lot of stuff that needs to be passed down. So if you're interested, DM me or look on Patreon, but I'm always happy to mentor people, because those are the official ones. Unofficially, across a few communities, I remember I mentored a few Zeuses in the 89th as well. You know, just as a side hobby, but Zeusing is a very complex concept to father people into. But let me unmute myself and go talk to Barb again. Just wanted to answer that personally. Sorry, I was talking about Zeusing.
Yeah, no problem. Talking about people that you mentored.
Lamau, you are one of them.
Technically, yes. We were talking about false landings and false drop-offs with those little birds being a viable play. I'm of the opinion that it's a double-edged sword, that you don't, like, because they're little birds specifically. If they were Blackhawks, I could see that being useful, but with little birds and the crew and people riding alongside being exposed, if you have an empty chopper, then they know it's an empty chopper. If you fly in with a full chopper and leave with a full chopper, they know that you didn't drop people off there.
Yep.
So I could see that being rough, just specifically with little birds. But we do get pushed in now, and we get to see the AO.
Alright, so BLUFOR, we got those 2 unarmed little birds that you're talking about. We do have these 3 armed Humvees, which are up-armored, and they include the spotting cameras, which is great. Thermal's going to be disabled because FNF does not like thermals. We also got 2 quad bikes and plenty of transport trucks and 2 unarmed Humvees for transport as well. And we have our standard Marpat Marine woodland gear that we see. Honestly, we see these guys once a week with how everything goes. So
Oh, easily.
5.56 rifles, M2 49s as a squad-based weapon, 240 Bravo as the Foxtrot and Charlie 1 squad weapon, and a Maz for the Charlie 2 team. And then X-Ray is going to get a Mark 11. And they even have a sign for Friday Night Fights Titans 7v7 coming soon. Interesting.
Very good. Yes, I was told about that. And actually, if you zoom in, you can see a preview of one of the AOs. We do have, I was told about this beforehand, and you kind of ruined the surprise, you little sneaker. But yes,
it's on the fucking map, you forehead.
I know. I'm playing with you. But yes, we will be having 7 versus 7 concentrated Friday Night Fight Titans. All the action in a big 120-person battle just condensed down to 7 versus 7. So,
basically, community versus community at that point, just to see who is better. We did have a Saturday Friday Night Fights branch, which
Saturday Night Scuffle.
It was fucking the FNF staff yelled at me for calling it a scuffle. They wanted it to be a skirmish instead, but I'm gonna still call it a scuffle just to piss them off. But
I think I might have called it a skirmish before, but either way, yeah,
it's a scuffle now. But
yeah.
regardless, that was between the sitting faction of, what was it, the 21 ID? They're the
29th Infantry Division, and
that's it, 29th.
Supplemented by 4 IB. I believe. Was it 4 IB or was it? No, it wasn't 4 IB. It was second MRB.
Yep.
29th ID and a second MRB.
29th ID are the guys that FNF, the TeamSpeak, also has them in it. So they're the sitting community that, you know, helps to manage FNF. So they were fighting the FNF coalition, quote unquote, last Saturday. And through the third round tiebreaker, the FNF coalition was able to win, and that was really fun to spectate. But now we're having 7v7 to, I guess, do a community v community. We also got some random images of some AOs as well, so that's pretty interesting. But otherwise, BLUFOR already getting set up here and trying to organize themselves. Let's go ahead and look at OPFOR.
Absolutely. And if I had
more Ruskies.
Yes, it is our famous Russian detachment, as per usual. Wearing that very nice EMR camo, 5.45 AKs, unmagnified optics, PKMs for the squad level, PKPs for the platoon level, RPG 26s, and an RPG 42 as well, to round out the squad level weaponry. In addition, they do have, like I mentioned earlier, they have the 2 BTR 80s with a 14.5 heavy machine gun and a 7.62 PKT coaxial, in addition to some transport trucks and a couple Gaz Tigers. I believe 3 of them.
I'll be right back 1 second.
Oh, sure. But yes, the Gaz Tigers, which are pretty much equivalent to the up-armored Humvees, nice and, well, pretty thick-skinned, have a nice PKT on top, as well as an AGS. The AGS has been scripted to have no ammo because AGSs and GMGs in general are very powerful and can break a PvP scenario with that raw firepower, so that's been scripted to have no ammo at all. As well as 2 quad bikes, just like with BLUFOR. These are usually taken by the X-Ray team, since they are a 4-man team. 2 quad bikes, 4 people, the math checks out. Otherwise, yeah, standard, pretty much the same as last round. BLUFOR NATO guys versus Red 4 Russian guys. Pretty similar weaponry and pretty good stats overall. I'd love to see how these BTRs are used in defensive capability. Usually you see these more as troop transports and then an IFV role. So we'll see how well those 14.5s, maybe they'll be using them to take out the helicopters. They would be very useful against that. And yeah, they also have these gas trucks for the purpose of transport. And once the U gets back, we will look at the AOs. Otherwise, yeah, it is. This is kind of some people would see this as basic, but it is the most even fight that you can have, considering these are both RHS factions, assets, gear, etc. Friday Night Fights also has a special config to rescript body armor and I think ballistic values as well, but maybe just body armor. So 5.45 and 5.56 against, you know, this kind of body armor is very much even. In addition, those PKTs should be very useful as a Humvee analog, useful for transporting a small fire team around and being some mobile firepower for pursuing teams, helicopters, that kind of thing. Who builds all these missions? FNF has a volunteer mission development team. People can just, say, hey, I want to make a mission. You can make your mission. They have a specific framework for making missions. Mission gets submitted, audited, and put into the rotation. We have fresh missions every week because of the hard work that these people do for the community. Again, it is all volunteer, and it would not be possible without their help and their hard work. So big shout out to them, especially Tarnfolk, who's in my chat right now. So, going back to BLUFOR for a second.
Sorry about that.
Those little birds have the benches on the side, so they will be able to transport a good squad's worth of people. I think 8 total, so 3 on each of the benches, 1 in the back, and then 1 in the co-pilot seat. In addition, on the nose of the Humvee, that you can see on my stream, it has a nice little camera pod useful for reconnaissance. I believe this is the Recon 1, so I thought that I don't know if the OH6M has it as well, but in any case, this model does have it. It is very useful. It's a very powerful camera. It goes up to like 12 or 15 times zoom. It is very good. So if they're able to utilize that, they should be able to get some decent eyes on the AO from a distance, from a safe distance, preferably, but we shall see.
I am back, by the way. Caught you talking about the SOCOM little birds and those camera magnifications. Those are only going to be useful, though, if they have co-pilots, which,
yes,
if we were to look at Hotel, which should be the group for those, but it looks like we only have a single pilot for each among Hotel, though we do have Hotel 1. So I think 1 is going to have an extra co-pilot, but 1 is going to be a simple transport.
If I remember correctly from the roster, there were 2 pilots, and then there was actually an air detachment commander and XO. So if all the slots were filled, they would have a pilot and a co-pilot each, and the detachment lead and XO could, in theory, use those camera pods. But we do have Ikiru and his squad loading up in one of them, and Johansson loading up in the other. So they will definitely be using those to pretty good effect, especially considering how cramped this start zone is for Red 4. Now that we've gone over that, do you want to go over the terminals?
Oh, let me give a general spiel. If you are playing in the server and you are on either my stream or Barbarian stream and we catch you, you're gonna get banned from FNF. So don't make me go to NEM, because I'm already gonna go to NEM just to verify a few IP things. But please, don't. Because I hate having to do that.
5-minute delay for the Saturday night skirmish scuffle.
I don't want to take FNF to a 5-minute delay because of stream sniping. Please.
Do not make us do that. It is literally going to be y'all's fault if we do, so please don't make us. I beg you.
Anyway, let's go over terminals. I have IPs noted and whatnot. We'll just compare them after stream.
Sure. Terminal 1 is a warehouse over on the northeast corner of the Safe Start Zone. We see Malin, Vonk, Armor Jesus, and all them setting up pretty heavy defenses all around. They are also
Armor Jesus
looking across the river to the west, so they are
one of the best new coming players in my opinion.
They will have plenty of time, still got another 5 minutes to build up some defenses. Not a bad area, but the tree cover does kind of limit visibility.
If you're dead, feel free to come on, but if you're alive or down, don't come on. Yeah, with this AO, the one fear I have is BLUFOR coming from the tree angles. You do see a bit of a riverbed extending to the southeast here that BLUFOR can utilize, passing the train tracks along this riverbed to get in close and then attack it from the northeast angle. They can also go a little farther past and try to assault it from the riverbed but OPFOR is doing their best to set up some sort of 360 security here. Now, with both factions, you do have to note, both factions know the exact position of the terminal because it's marked with dots on the map, and the defending faction gets the red marker right there. So, I don't know,
Yes.
OPFOR doing what appears to be an all eggs in one basket approach right now on Terminal 1. That is incredibly risky. That means they're going to go for better PvP rather than time. So we'll just have to see how that plays out.
Compared to the first round, this is actually a very I said cramped earlier, but it's compact, really. We do see now one of the PKTs heading south. Joseph Stalin and 3 others.
I don't have any ETA on horror missions.
Might be rigging that as a booby trap. But yeah, I really would have expected them to be a bit more forward, maybe do Terminal 2 and 3, using those the railway line, the clearing around it, to hold that as a defensive line, perhaps.
Why are they climbing on the building?
But
I don't know.
No, looks like they are absolutely going for an all eggs in one basket. Maybe some active defense. We got X-ray on those 2 quad bikes, which we usually see. But otherwise, yeah, that is surprising to say the least.
Then we have Charlie 1 in the Gaz. They're going to potentially try to go for a counterattack here on the southern side, but yeah, Terminal 3 in a little shack in the middle of nowhere, and Terminal 2, which is on the rail crossing, both being abandoned. I'm really surprised there's no explosive traps being put down, as you said earlier, because terminals are the easiest way to put explosive traps down, because all you have to do is put the charge down, wait for the pop-up, and then dead it.
Yeah, that's what I thought that Gaz was going to be doing, that Charlie 1 Gaz down to the south. I thought that might be setting up something down there, but no, it looks like that might be just going for that active defense that we saw utilized in the first round, but nowhere near to the extent that we saw before. Both BTRs over here, a few people in each, but really just, I mean,
don't disarm a Jesus, he will kick your ass.
Bring this out, but it's I don't know how to feel about this, honestly.
One thing I want to know, though, Barbarian, is how many guys Guy Fieri on OPFOR is going to send to Flavor Town tonight in round 2 of EUFNF. He is a medic, though, so probably only 1, maybe 2 tops, but we'll have to see how things go.
Now I'm just imagining Guy Fieri tapping a syringe filled with barbecue sauce and putting it into someone to wake him up.
That is called epinephrine, my friend.
I don't know what. I'm not diabetic, but I don't think that's what epinephrine looks like.
I will say this, though. BLUFOR, I think, are going to do a large amount of air cav here. They have both Hueys set up, filled nearly to the brim here. One at +6, one at +8. But they still have 2 additional squads here waiting to deploy. So I think BLUFOR is going to go for a very quick rush strategy, which is not going to play to OPFOR's favor here, because OPFOR is doing an eggs in one basket strategy, which means there's no way in hell this is going to go down to the clock. So EU2, probably going to be a quicker round, but we'll have to see how these BTR 80s are utilized to hopefully slow down BLUFOR's advance. That 250 7.62 round magazine for that coax gun is going to be really effective, but those 50 round 14.5 millimeters are going to be absolutely devastating if they manage to catch a little bird out of position.
I'm absolutely with you. I think that Red 4's strategy here, kind of condensing their defenses, just again looking at the defensive lines they've built, very impressive and very encompassing. Watching all kinds of directions coming in. I think that's actually going to be the best counter against a rush, is have everyone in one place. Yeah, even that gas at the south has come back, and so they're going to be pretty much all together. So that's definitely going to be able to counter that rush as best as they can. As for the trips that the Little Bird is going to have to do, that could it's a bit risky, because it could mean that they get separated, the 2 squads, and then come back for
Mission
another
begins.
2 squads. Could mean that in between those trips, they could be counterattacked and taken out. Mission has started.
So OPFOR, yep, OPFOR rushing a group up from the Terminal 1 site. They're going to try to garrison this town here. Unarmed Vict also charging up here, but again, OPFOR, as you said earlier, are really investing in holding everything around Terminal 1. What do you see?
You mean just in regards to this? I mean, no, this is good. This is that active defense that I was kind of hoping to see, but nowhere near as active as I thought they would be. The X-Ray squad moving out to get early, trying to get early eyes on. That's par for the course. They're doing a good job in hiding their quad bikes, but I feel like they really need to try and go further. They have another, like, 20 clicks or something. No, sorry, 2 clicks. I'm thinking I'm getting my map markers mixed up. But yeah, they still have about a click, 2 clicks before the enemy base, so they still have plenty of breathing room to push out a little bit further, just in a very not passive, but patient recon role, holding their fire, getting the information out, and relaying that to the higher command structure. I don't know. I feel like they're stunting themselves a little bit. They've gone across the tracks now, and they're pushing out to this little peninsula of forest over here by marker 22. And yeah, the other team is garrisoning this town a little bit to their north.
We'll say OPFOR sending all 3 armed Hueys, 2 quad bikes, and a transport truck down on the south. Littlebirds appear to be going on the southern side outside of the map to potentially maneuver somewhere to the west or northwest of the terminals. I don't know where they're going to deploy yet, but if they manage to try to attack Terminal 1 as the rest of the force goes for something like Terminal 2, OPFOR is going to have the advantage here because they're going to be focusing all eggs in one basket on Terminal 1. They're going to be able to take 100% of their force to fight about 40% of BLUFOR's force here, whittle them down, take them out, and then they might be able to then repel the other half of BLUFOR's force, despite BLUFOR having 11 people over OPFOR's numbers. So we'll have to see how that goes, but at that point, the only person to blame is BLUFOR for that strategy. But again, we're getting into a situation where you can't really fault either side for the win or loss. It's just the tactics. But BLUFOR deploying those forces way outside the AO. That is at least 2 to 3 clicks away. They're playing this incredibly safe for this 50-minute round. I think the next time those... Here, let me explain why. Those guys are going to get eyes on. They're going to start coming into the AO, and then the Littlebirds, when they go back to pick up the other 2 groups of infantry and put them in, they're going to bring them in where BLUFOR is moving. That way they know it is safe. So I get why they're doing that. That lets them get some eyes on the ground and have them start moving into the terminal sites, only for the Littlebirds to deploy the next wave of infantry right on top of them. So actually that's really smart, because it still keeps them all completed.
Cross in my chat had that exact same idea. He posed that to me. I'm thinking, now that they are kind of moving out, I was of the opinion that they're going to stay...
yes, I still do PvE stuff, don't worry.
At a much closer LZ.
We have a PvE op actually tomorrow.
Steady and just
80 plus people.
And just hold for the second team to come up to them, and then they just go out as one big squad. However, yeah, it looks like they are moving forward on foot. I was thinking they'd go more like Yarvella, just to the west of Terminal 3 by a few hundred meters. But yeah, they are 3 clicks away from Terminal 1 here, and that is a long walk. The other group got dropped even further west by the map border itself. They got about a 3.5, maybe closer to 4 click walk. That is... Whew. That is a walking simulator round for them. I feel like that's a bit of a misplay. Like you said, they're playing that very safe, which makes sense, especially with the very...
It's only going to work out for them, though, because there's no defensive aspects around Terminal 3 or Terminal 2, so that's going to allow BLUFOR to regroup on the southern side and then do a unified push with that numbers advantage to still take on Terminal 1 and probably win, because OPFOR doesn't know where BLUFOR is going to be deploying, so they've committed half of their force to that northern side. So if BLUFOR attacks the southern side, which is only half of OPFOR's forces, that's going to force the northern half to come down and assist in defense, creating A hole, and B, a stagnated defense, because BLUFOR might have already gotten a few easy licks in, and I could see BLUFOR just steamrolling this AO. The one concern with how far BLUFOR has been deploying their forces is they're treating this extremely cautiously. So that could still give OPFOR the time advantage, because these are 50-minute rounds plus the 15-minute safe start, which means this ends at 1 hour and 5 minutes. I've got my map open, which is why I state that. OPFOR could still get the time advantage and just need to hold for that long amount of time because BLUFOR hasn't sufficiently done any helicopter recon to see that Terminal 2 and 3 are pretty exposed right now. So,
yeah,
who do we have commanded?
All that is very sound, logical strategy.
Lusod
using
versus
these little birds
Pierce
the way they are, and I mean, thank goodness that there is no actual like patrol. We always call back to it, but that, you know, if they Redford were to do that 11117 kind of rushing patrol thing way far out, they would find this group here down at the Varho Hotel, and they would catch them out, know where they are, and it would ruin this entire plan. Because, these two, almost like halves at this point of BLUFOR are very much separated. Okay, sorry. But yeah, if Red 4 were to be more aggressive in this scenario, BLUFOR would be completely screwed over by their own tactics. And I think that the longer this goes on, Red 4 is going to be much more willing to commit to...
you good, Lord. Just DM me about it later.
Or to even doing a fixed...
Because I don't even remember, but I'm drunk right now. So.
You see those two BTRs on the other side of the river now going west. So I think they've predicted this, that they've gone far south and are behind their lines now. We actually also have X-Ray, who's pushed up a considerable amount. Actually, no, they're still in that same peninsula, but they're only about a click or so away from BLUFOR's position. They don't hear those helicopters from their position. They shouldn't, at least. But the point of what I was saying earlier is, like, the longer this goes on, Red 4 is going to recognize that they don't have enough time to maneuver once they attack. Say they have 25 minutes left.
You mean BLUFOR?
Start their attack.
Red 4 is defending.
Yeah, no, but I mean, like, Red 4 won't have, is going to commit to a counterplay. They're not going to, how do I put this?
Red's only going to commit to a counterplay, though, if BLUFOR advances, but BLUFOR's playing this incredibly cautious because they think OPFOR is a lot more spread out than they actually are. This is one of the biggest issues we see in FNF, is the attacking faction does not do proper recon, they just assume, and then from there, everything falls apart, because they assumed.
Yeah, and that's kind of why I want that active defense, but, like...
You're not going to see an active defense here, because
no.
BLUFOR is going to get stalled out for at least another 5 to 10 minutes. That's going to eat up the clock, and OPFOR doesn't need to do it at that point, because that's half the time gone for the round. So they just have to actively... They could send forces down to actively defend Terminal 3 if they wanted to, but unless BLUFOR steamrolls from the west, I don't see this working. I already think this is a plan that is built to fail for BLUFOR, because they're taking this over cautiously without doing any recon, which is why recon is so important to do, not just in PvP, but in any Arma 3 scenario, period.
And we could see, once they drop off that second load, I think they do have a third load actually back at base.
General, thanks for the Switch Prime sub. Hope you keep enjoying the operations. Hope you're staying safe from COVID, and I hope you get a kick out of this.
They're not even making any further progress until they get those reinforcements in and they can move as one cohesive unit. But maybe once they get all the transport done, then they go.
Well, now you do
and
know.
They start doing some recon with those very, very powerful nose cameras. Even if they don't have thermals, they still have.
Oh, this happens all the time.
Zoom, like something like 20 times. Zoom or something. So I could see that maybe happening once they get everyone deployed and mobilized, start doing that recon when there's not as much risk to those little birds moving around and flying over the AO. But we're already almost 10 minutes in, and there hasn't been much movement from the attacking side.
I don't know. BLUFOR is still deploying because they still have units in spawn, and the little birds are coming back to pick them up. They haven't moved, BLUFOR's infantry on the ground hasn't moved that much. We've got a bit of a recon element trying to maneuver past the landing sites into Overwatch on Terminal 3 and Terminal 1, but they are still a good click and a half away from either position. BLUFOR, meanwhile, on the southern side are trying to overwatch. We do see a few OPFOR guys trying to trickle around to see where BLUFOR is coming from, but BLUFOR still needs a good 5 minutes to deploy, and that's 15 out of the 50 minutes, so that leaves 35 minutes to take all 3 terminal sites. that's really tough to do, considering OPFOR does still have those 2 BTR 80s that could easily come up and stop, just stem a few minutes from BLUFOR's advance. So I really don't like BLUFOR's plan here. I think they are taking this way too cautious. If this was an OFCRA round, for example, which I commentate on Thursdays, where they get 2 hours per round, I could see this. But for an FNF round, which is only 50 minutes, they're kind of shooting themselves in the foot here. OPFOR, by doing an all eggs in one basket approach, wasn't expecting to get a time boost, because when you defend all sites, you're expecting the other 2 to get steamrolled and quickly taken after the enemy faction realizes what you're doing. OPFOR is just going to get that because of BLUFOR's plan. And again, it's all based on the fact that BLUFOR just assumed. You always want to do recon, even if it costs you 5, maybe 10 minutes. Just fly a little bird over.
Sorry to interrupt you, but Fred, who he went off from the X-ray detachment, he's taking fire from the south, from Forge and some of the other guys from Scandian who are along with them. So, first shots have been fired now. And I'm not entirely sure of what that's going to mean in the grand scheme of things.
Fred's a medic. I guess he was just sent down to go try to find forces here, but that's a really interesting call.
Fred's a Logan type. He's kind of is a good lone wolf type, but at the same time, as a medic, you do want to be with your squad at some point, or for the most part.
Yeah, but Logan plays medic a lot as well, so it's just whatever they get thrown into, you know?
Liru, off-topic question. Should Iander cannonball a bottle of port or no?
It's Iander we're talking about. The answer is automatically yes, regardless of the question.
Yes, okay, good. I agree. Thank you.
Look, the man has blue-on-blued friendly Apaches in the past, thinking they were hostile, even though they were hovering in a pattern that no AI would do. So, the answer automatically is yes.
Fair. Iander, you heard him. Get drunk. You've already missed 2 rounds of EU FNF. I'll see you for round 3, or if not, I'll see you for NA if you're still conscious.
He won't be, but nonetheless, it'll be quite interesting
to be conscious
to see.
To make rocket shots.
Fuck. Barb, I'm drunk. I could really go for a, a Pizza Hut pizza right now. No, it would be a Papa John's pizza. Have you ever, I'm going to take us to a side note, because BLUFOR is going to spend another, 5 to 10 minutes maneuvering here. Have you ever had pizza, but then your stomach, hates you the next few hours after?
Hates me?
You have stomach problems and shit. I don't know why, I get that with Domino's all the time these days, but I don't know why with Papa John's stuffed crust cheese pizza, which I absolutely love, I've never had a problem with so far, and I've eaten 4 of them, so I really want to go get another one right now.
What, in one day?
Yeah. It's dope. I'm drunk as shit. You have to deal with this.
Yes. Yes, you usually got to deal with me, but I'm getting there as well. Here, let me drink some more of this mead, and I'll...
I already drank halfway through my Vikings blood bottle, man. You got to catch up.
Shit, I think I'm maybe about a quarter in. I really got to catch up. Here, hold on. Let me take a pull from the bottle. 1 second.
All right. Hey, Cryleaf, how you doing? I haven't really noticed anything this week from, at least from round 1. I know Paladin was coming up from ML 700th, but he got shot to shit. I know last week, though, for NA round 1, he clutched and then failed so hard because he didn't play the objective he played for kills. Do you remember that, Barb? NA round 1 on the Ridgeside defense? Paladin came up. He had the opportunity to win the objective, but instead he went for kills? That was such a blunder.
Yes, that was a blue.
And then he blew himself up, too, in the beginning with that one grenade that bounced off the tree. That was hilarious. But anyway, 30-minute mark, roughly, so we are, 15 minutes in? So 35 minutes remaining on the round. Terminal hack 2 started. We're at 2 minutes for the hack times there. And they, BLUFOR has come up a little bit with its 3 vehicles. Little rounds going out on that OPFOR group to make a pushback.
Time is 2 minutes, not 90 seconds. I just realized.
Yeah, usually it is 90 seconds. So that's a really interesting call right there. But regardless, OPFOR is going to maintain their positions with that one X-ray group pulling back to do recon. Some smokes popped as well as they pull to the north. We might see a little bit of a tougher defensive line for Terminal 2 because Charlie for OPFOR, which is their weapon squad, so their heavy AT, their MAT, which is a proper term for that, and a machine gun, which would be in the form of PKP, overwatching that. But
okay,
yeah.
I'm sorry. I gotta do an aside. You did an aside. I get an aside. Gaming with Big B. Buffalo wings from Buffalo. You don't go to Buffalo for buffalo wings. I'm sorry. You do not go to Buffalo for buffalo wings. I'm gonna say it.
You can make buffalo wings. You know, I'm gonna be honest. So Bloodwing and we're gonna get a mortgage in 4 months, for $500,000. We're going to pay off a fifth of it on the down payment and then pay that off for the rest for a townhouse. I want to go into mead making when we get it, go into gardening when I get it, indoor gardening specifically, and culinary stuff. So I will show you how to make the best fucking buffalo wild wings ever.
Oh,
because I have a blend for it.
I can make some great wings, dude. I have this great recipe.
Wings are amazing.
I have a great oven recipe for oven baked wings that are the crunchiest and most delectable wings you've ever had. Even better than like a traditional deep fried recipe.
Barb, come over, man. We'll make them.
Absolutely.
We'll shoot a video on it. We'll sleep with each other after. It'll be great.
Yeah, dude. Wait.
Obviously.
You're horny.
Terminal 2 hack complete on the southern side. That was that explosion right there. Little Bird now coming around to try to do recon. OPFOR responding by firing at it with Alpha 1's squad leader. No, I rectify that. That is Coda on the Gaz trying to fire up at that Little Bird. And...
Liru, wait, so we're going to make the video about the wings. Is the other video going to go on the OnlyFans then?
Of course. Silence bottom. Anyway, BLUFOR is maneuvering.
Make me, daddy.
Shut the... We can't stream this content on Twitch, Bar. We have to move it to Pornhub. Anyway, BLUFOR... Their forces on the western flank are really stagnant right there. They have a Little Bird on reserve, which I believe it's not landed. It's just has its engine on trying to do recon.
I agree.
Oh my god. Stop making me horny on that. Anyway, BLUFOR still moving their forces up. This is gonna just eat up a lot of the clock here with those two OPFOR BTR 80s in position to block BLUFOR in their forces to advance from the west, but this also opens up opportunity for BLUFOR to move their 3 Humvees up from the south. This could go either way, but I'm really worried about BLUFOR right now because a lot of time is getting eaten up on the clock, and that is going to just do OPFOR a service here of holding Terminal 1.
Is that a buffalo wing in your pocket, or you just happy to see me?
Shut the fuck up, bottom. I'm only drinking because I got 100k subs on YouTube, alright? That's the only reason why I'm drunk. Don't worry about it.
Drinking before you saw that. Shut the fuck up.
Dude, I literally woke up, checked my phone, and Bloodwind's like, oh my gosh, you hit 100k. And I'm like, what? And then I started day drinking. Alright?
Sure.
The only reason I was day drinking is because I had some leftover caviar from, my brother's birthday, where I made him Wagyu beef steaks. Fun fact, by the way, drunk confession, because we're still waiting on time. I bought my brother really expensive Australian and Japanese Wagyu beef steaks to cook him for his birthday, which was about 2 weeks ago. And when I went to checkout with them, the $250 Wagyu steaks, the person put them through the scanner, but they didn't scan. So I was able to. I didn't pay for them, but they were still in the bags. So I just walked off with them with my mother.
You just saved
$250 steaks. Yeah. Everything else was additional $250. So I was willing to pay, like $500 for my brother's dinner because he's moving into his own apartment. And I thought, this would be the last time I get to spend time with him. This was special. Again, Barb, I will state this again. He was moving out. He has his own apartment now. I'm never going to probably see him again except for holidays. and I wanted to make it special, so I cooked them Wagyu, but the person didn't scan it, so I saved $250. So, yeah, we just walked off with them. They were really good and juicy. Like Wagyu, I will admit, it's a great, like, ceremonial thing, but you don't want to eat it every day, because it's just, if you eat it every day, the fattiness in the Wagyu is just kind of sickening at that point. But it's still, you know, something good to try. So, oh, don't get me wrong. So, Wagyu, normally you get in, like, these little, like, slivers, these little chunks, like a little mini filet mignon. These were, like, full-on strip steaks. Yeah.
Yeah, no.
So that's why they were expensive as hell.
No, when I was in Japan, I had to pay, like, $10 for Wagyu ramen, and it was that same kind of very thin slices, so, like, kind of like beef jerky-sized slices of Wagyu beef. So that absolutely checks out as far as a bigger steak. And again, we are still waiting on time on any kind of contact.
So someone's telling me, just proud patriot telling me I shouldn't admit to crimes. I didn't commit any crimes. They just didn't scan it. So actually, I actually looked this up and talked to my lawyer about it. It's not my fault. It's on them for not scanning it. And I don't have to correct them as a standard citizen of the United States of America. But, you know, it's statute of limitation for that is what? Like a few years? I gotta look that up. But again, it's not my fault. But, yeah. Someone who works in retail saying it is not a crime if at the till somebody does not charge you. Exactly. So I just got lucky with that. But besides the point, you know, it's just a good celebratory thing. So.
Absolutely, no, very, very, very fortunate. Good, that's a good luck thing.
I will admit, my luck with Bloodwing, I almost said her name. We have really weird luck where she will either get really lucky or I will get really lucky. Not as lucky as Delta 2 for BLUFOR though, who just got shot at from two different sides of OPFOR here, from Charlie and who is this up here? Alpha here.
By the way.
Of course they are, and of course that's why they're pushing, but...
Speaking of pushing...
Seen BLUFOR kind of push back.
Open field now, going onto Charlie's flank. They're gonna run to a rock. Oh, no, they broke. Braked, whatever. Now I'm getting drunk, fuck you. Lots of fire now coming onto that Humvee, though.
That's in between rounds, buddy.
Anyway, X-Ray for Red for now, kind of reacting.
Barb and I have a weird relationship.
Original position, fell back a bit northeast. Front line still not really established. It's pretty early. Rocket goes out. I believe that was from Dingo, perhaps, onto Golf's Humvee, but it missed. Those Humvees are the up-armored variant, so they are going to need some AT. Second rocket comes out from Strakatenko, I believe. And maybe that was Ryzen, but either way, it was also ineffective. And that third one goes out, but that one was on the BTR. Pickles, his BTR is cooking off.
Yep, that was by Ash who fired that round, so that BTR is going to pull back. It's got a wounded in it. There is the cook-off flame, and we're at least going to see one guaranteed KIA out of there.
The G-Legs is crippled.
He's trying to crawl away. That explosion could do additional damage to him to knock him out, but I think he has maintained... Yep.
Yeah, he definitely got hurt from that a bit more. Pickle's still inside. He was the wounded one in there. He is pretty badly fucked up. Oh, God. Oh, look at him. He's... Oh, that's a big hole in his thigh. I don't like that. So
we got BLUFOR Humvees coming from the south. They are firing on TSB members at Terminal 3. I fucking called this. OPFOR is going to pull a pseudo defense at Terminal 3 to help stall BLUFOR forces to help eat up on the clock. BLUFOR has a really good pincer maneuver going here, but I'm going to be honest, I don't think BLUFOR is going to be able to get these two terminals in time because of the amount of time that's already been eaten up on the clock. There is only 25 minutes remaining in this round. Half of the time has gone by because BLUFOR spent half the time maneuvering. I don't think they're going to get to Terminal 1 in time with the strength of how OPFOR is going. Also, yes, Barb and I have a fun relationship, and that's all I'm going to say about that.
Save it for the Patreon or the OnlyFans, dude.
The OnlyFans, definitely.
I'm not going to say anything more. Daniel's gunner got shot.
I was taking a drink.
Humvees do also have a bit of an armored turret, but the head is still exposed. Daniel does fortunately wake back up, but he's going to get a bit of some band-aids and boo-boo kisses before he presses on.
Little Bird finds some high-edge recon here. That is Pearson, somebody else, checking to see the defensive lines at Terminal 1. I think BLUFOR is going to realize the issue of OPFOR putting an all eggs in one basket approach on Terminal 1, and that is going to try to rush them a little bit. That opens them up to a little bit of mistakes, but we'll have to see how things go. We still have Moxbren trying to pick off Bert here, but Bert just blew Moxie away. Good old TSB trying to win a one-on-one with a bigger asset because the square hole is the square hole.
It goes to the square hole.
My fucking god, inside jokes. But we still have BLUFOR trying to push up forces into Terminal 3, but they're going to run into OPFOR forces. And this is an even fight here. We got TSB fighting, honestly, some names I don't recognize. Gaza goes down. Ghost 12 tries to cover for him as Tackleberry comes up.
A newer group. This is a Czech group. Strike Red, I believe, is the name, but they are a Czech group. So we have some actual.
Great to see more new groups.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because Bohemia Interactive is a Czech company, but I do like seeing PvP groups kind of blend in, because I know there's quite a few Czech groups in OFCRA that come in, so it's nice to see them potentially blend into FNF. But TSB holding strong here. Gazaga's down, Malin is down. It's pretty even, but I think BLUFOR is going to be able to eventually stampede this position. But if OPFOR is able to hold another 5 minutes, I think they're going to be able to win this because of the sheer amount of forces defending Terminal 1.
Admittedly, the western flank is going better than I expected for BLUFOR. Like you said, they did push. Red4 did push out a few individuals to try and hold off that advance to certain degrees of success. But with Malin down now, Heckfly, Defense and Ryzen under fire with superior numbers coming up against them. It will be a Pyrrhic movement for Red4, but they are making great progress. I am interested to see how
Walker, thanks for the 40-month resub.
He was the gunner
even a mental hospital.
He opens up on
even during the operation. Hope you get a kick out of this fight.
He gets taken down, but Eriku, just on the other side of these bushes, heard those AK shots, comes around and gets the revenge kill. Great movement, great situational awareness from Eriku. And so ends G-Leg's poor life. Over on the eastern side, lots of charges going off, destroying those buildings. A bit of a miscue there. I don't know if those were on a timer or those were on a clacker, but either way, no effectiveness whatsoever. So that's a waste of, I think that was 3 explosive charges actually. So that's unfortunate.
Sorry, Barb. I ran out of mead. I've drank 700 milliliters of it out of the 750. So, yeah, that explains why I'm drunk as fuck, by the way. But
don't worry, my sweet summer child. I'll take care of you. Just come here. Just come here, my little pog champ.
It's okay. We'll get the cat boys later. But besides the point. I don't know how BLUFOR is going to win this one. They have 20 minutes remaining before time ends. 15-minute timer is going to go off in about 5.5 minutes, and they still have a lot of their forces here, so BLUFOR is going to have to really rush in and be really effective on the PvP, but for now, especially after round 1 where we saw it come down very, very close, by the end of it, I don't think BLUFOR has enough time to maneuver on these remaining 2 terminals.
I agree, because over on the western side, Heckfly, Devinter, and Ryzen still alive in this little saddle. They're still kind of... I mean, they're staying alive. We have the Charlie 1 lead over to their east.
Even then.
For here, they have a great bridge to cross over and get to just south of Terminal 1 and push up there, which is actually relatively undefended. They have that Malden bunker looking south, but otherwise most of the defenders are looking east, north, or west. So this is actually, if BLUFOR can mobilize and pick up the pace, like you said, only 20 minutes now until the end of the round. If they can pick up the pace, they should have a great opportunity to pull this out from behind and make a win out of a pretty fucky-wucky situation.
I don't see BLUFOR winning this. There's too many forces. There's 20 minutes going on. We do have a few OPFOR intermingled with a large BLUFOR group coming in, but even with a little bird that just landed to pick people up, BLUFOR might try something really drastic to get on top of OPFOR's positions at Terminal 1, but I think that desperation might get them killed a few times over because of how thick OPFOR's garrison is around Terminal 1. So normally an all eggs in one basket approach doesn't net them this level of security, but because of BLUFOR's extra caution into these AOs, it's just worked in OPFOR's favor. And now you got Dingo and Joseph Stalin picking off stragglers from BLUFOR that run up and try to take Terminal 3. Dingo just got a free kill. He's on 2, by the way, of BLUFOR just trying to trickle into Terminal 3 site right here. And I don't see BLUFOR winning this at all because of the stalled time.
Mobilizing, they're going into this ditch over here that they're going into now with the support of at least 2 M2 Humvees. So they have plenty of firepower, plenty of manpower. They're coming up against just a 5-man fire team led by Emzikov over here. Emzikov, by the way, great streamer, rates me a lot of the time, so please go send him some love. But if they're able to continue along this path, they should be able to do that same kind of 2-front attack that so it should stretch the defenses of Red 4 a little bit at least.
Lord, no problem, man. I'll keep trying to go as long as I can, man. Appreciate it.
Force.
Hope you're okay.
Nothing really crazy. Where's that other BTR? As I asked that, it is cooking off right now. Yang and Cole. Cole is hiding behind the cooking off BTR. That's not the smart idea. Yang is down inside a grenade going off right at Cole's feet.
Ouch.
As the BTR blows out. He's actually still alive. Never mind.
No, I just saw a headshot on him. He got knocked unconscious.
Absolutely. So 4IB doing some good work. Elkin is down for them, but that's both BTRs down. And if you're looking at
Barb, real quick. Okay, go ahead. Okay, fine. I got you. So both BTRs down, 16 and a half minutes remaining. I think those BTRs did their job here. We do have BLUFOR trying to trickle in on the other half of the pincer. Continue with Foxtrot 1. If they are able to win the PvP fight with this supporting Humvee, I think they could pierce in and potentially snipe Terminal 1, but I think that's really unlikely with the sheer amount of OPFOR forces that have been dedicated in defending Terminal 1 here. So,
I disagree. The BTRs have not done their job. The BTRs were there to counter the up-armored M2 Humvees and...
No. All right. Okay, go ahead. I'll state it after this.
Absolutely. So yeah, the Humvees are now, because they're up armored, they are impervious to small arms fire, except for maybe the wheels. And the Warlords, particularly, he's just driving around in circles. He's being a target for all of this 545 and 762 fire because he can tank it. The 14.5 HMG on the BTRs was meant to destroy those things, but because both of them are down, they can't do that. That's the main crux of my point, so I'll let you...
Okay, so I agree with you. BLUFOR is using their Humvees to draw fire. I agree with you on that statement, but OPFOR still has a lot of forces defending Terminal 1, and those 2 BTRs being put on the western side have been merely meant to stall BLUFOR's western approach here, and that has bought them time on holding Terminal 3. Because they are holding on that objective, and we're about to get on the 50-minute mark, which means we're about to get the 15-minute warning marker. I don't see BLUFOR coming up to take these objectives in time. I think OPFOR has had this in the bag ever since the beginning when BLUFOR decided to do that really long distance deployment of airborne air assault forces, because airborne means parachutes. Air assault means they're landing with helicopters. But the air assault force is like 2 to 3 clicks away on the western side, has really just guaranteed OPFOR the victory here. And we have the 15 minutes remaining marker here.
And I will walk back my point. 4AB, the same group that took down that other BTR, they got completely walked up on by King and his group of Armored Jesus, Tom, Flux, and Guy Fieri, sending them all as the great restaurant in the sky. As they're doing some work. So this western flank is not done yet, and the terminal 3 that's in this wood and the shack in the middle of the woods, it is still intact. So there is still plenty of work to do. And honestly, I'm starting to agree with you. Looking at the map, there's still plenty of red 4 and not a lot of blue 4. Scandy is great, but even Scandy can only do so much, as I think they're now down to 4 or 5 remaining. Let me check.
I'm going to be honest, I'm really surprised Heckfly and DaVinci are still alive. As I say that, Heckfly just got knocked unconscious. Yeah, but they've been able to hold blue 4 for like 5 to 10 minutes here. A few forces able to delay the attacking faction. DaVinci just died, but they did their job. We're at 51 minutes, fucking below 15 before the timer ends. But BLUFOR is kind of rattled here. They got a pincer maneuver going on Terminal 1 and Terminal 3, but OPFOR's done a really good job of just holding these positions in general, because BLUFOR has been so slow in deploying their forces.
Yeah, that really was just low. It wasn't even like they were slow in deploying them. It was like they deployed them quickly, but like 2.5 clicks away. Like, it was just too far. It completely was counterintuitive to the mobility that the little birds lent to this attacking force. I mean, of course, you don't want to land them right on top of everyone, but at the same time, land them a bit closer, as I'm pretty sure Johansson just took some damage. I heard that crunch of shit being shot out, so we'll see if he's able to maintain his altitude. But yeah, now we're down to about 13 minutes, 12 minutes and change, as 4AB on BLUFOR, so I guess it got split up, but 4AB and Scandy are now coming out on the northeastern side of Terminal 1. They got the Czech guys actually to go up against, as Nemia and Collins might be coming into a bit of a duel here along the riverside. Both of them are on the flank. Nemia is a combat engineer and Collins is a machine gunner. So this could be an interesting fight, especially if Nemia decides to pull the pin on a satchel charge and throw it over in Collins' direction. But they gotta find each other first for that to happen.
BLUFOR doing a really good job using these last 12 minutes to try to get on the objectives. Terminal 3 about to be hacked any second right now. There is this call, but OPFOR still has a really strong defensive line around Terminal 1. I think OPFOR has this in the bag. They just have to hold for another 12 minutes and they'll be fine. And they still have a large majority of their force. The southern garrison is going to be able to hold against the western BLUFOR approach, as because they were deployed by the choppers, but I think they'll be able to hold against the forces that come from the south, and then the northern force is going to easily be able to hold against the Humvee forces, excuse me, that were deployed, including Scandy Recon. I could see BLUFOR trying to come in and snipe that third terminal, but I think it's going to be unlikely, because with 12 minutes to go, and I did just see BLUFOR snipe forces right there. Go ahead.
No, just a quick interjection. Buckets took a rocket to the face, and he is down, I think, for the count. He was also the medic, so that is rough here down the south side for Red 4 Charlie 2, but with just about 10 minutes and change left to go, I'm not going to say it's impossible, but with how thick of a nut Red 4 has built around here, I don't think BLUFOR is going to be able to crack it and get inside to the ooey gooey goodness of that terminal.
I mean, just look at the skulls on the roster here. We got BLUFOR with quite a big chunk of skulls, but OPFOR also with a big chunk of skulls on the side. I mean, it's still neck and neck here.
Buckets is the closest you have, or he has to a rocket rival. So,
bitch, that's me, not Buckets. But that's besides the point. OPFOR, well, F and F, but in general, I do. But regardless, OPFOR, I could still see 12 minutes remaining. BLUFOR has a really big chunk of forces just on the northern side outside of Terminal 1, but the actual defensive line of OPFOR here is still pretty massive. So, BLUFOR delivering enfilading fire from the east and the northeast could still get in here as the last, the Terminal 3 site is taken. I could see OPFOR holding for less than 10 minutes here because we're at 9.5 minutes in the round itself, but again,
yeah, and most of that chunk got obliterated by the northern group of 4AB and Scandi. So they've gotten some good ground. Yeah, like you said, the Terminal 3 has been taken. Charlie 2 now for BLUFOR making their way up. It's getting tighter and tighter, and that's the way we like it here, but it might be a bit too tight.
We have seen time and time again that Warlords has driven around to kind of scout out some of these fortified positions that OPFOR created, knowing that they're empty. It's going to be a matter of, can BLUFOR capitalize on those positions, knowing that those positions are cleared, and that's going to be up to BLUFOR. If Warlord is able to clear that out. So Rocket goes out for a Warlord. It is a miss, though.
Dodge.
Yeah, he is just
about that. You know, do they
being incredibly invasive.
They used it and it missed, so we'll see if they're able to scavenge some more.
But otherwise, this is going to be really, really close. Because OPFOR, they're on their last legs here, but 8 minutes remaining. And they still have a big chunk of forces that can hold. It's just going to be up to the PvP. This northern group right here of mainly 4IB guys that are about to breach in with Scandi Recon. So we could honestly see them penetrate this position. But either way, with Warlords driving around and trying to draw the fire of OPFOR, that could also potentially push out OPFOR to focus on the south. Because of
check your mic, my guy.
But
oh my God! Something just got armored in the red bird base. Dude,
that
oh my God! The little bird just kamikaze the truck.
Did a kamikaze run.
Liru, your mic, my guy. You got a little bit too far away. You sound like you're
sorry, my bad. But Little Bird just came down and destroyed one of the transport cars. This has been a crazy fucking round too, mind you, with everything that's gone on. OPFOR is whittled down into a small group within Terminal 1. We could still see some crazy maneuvers that happen within the next 6.5 minutes, but...
Cyber Charge goes out. Legal action just on the other side of this H barrier survives unscathed. What the fuck is going on, man? I think Scandi got wiped out as well. Yeah, Scandi's just down to Danny, Falcon, and Yanni Finn.
Yep. By the way, it is Danny's birthday, by the way. Random fun fact.
Oh, nice.
Sorry about the mic. I just took it off for a second.
I don't think with the 6 minutes left that BLUFOR is going to be able to get in. If they're able to get in and start the terminal, then overtime will be active. As long as the terminal is active, but they are all bandaging pretty heavily around the terminal. But
you do have to recall, if they hack the terminal within the next 6 minutes and it goes in overtime, because the terminal is under an active hack, basically you just have 6 minutes here before BLUFOR can touch the mic. I could see it still happening, but OPFOR is probably going to set up a really tight defensive. You already see that in the warehouse where this terminal is. But a few grenades could easily clear them all out.
Absolutely. We do have over here this 1RW, Stathenberger. Not Stathenbay, but Stathenberger. He's actually got a great line of sight onto the terminal. He's taking down another one. I think actually two. Jonathan, or sorry, wow, he's taking down a couple, I think. Another satchel charge going up near the 4IB guys, as Red 4 X-Ray are kind of collapsing in from the north. Very interesting.
I'm gonna be honest with you. This is playing out as much as you'd expect from an all eggs in one basket approach. OPFOR is on their last legs here, but thankfully because of BLUFOR's plan, they're able to play into the clock. Indigo Fox just getting a kill off of someone that pushed up on his own. But if OPFOR is able to hold for another less than 5 minutes, they'll be able to hold. And I'm actually really happy today with how close both rounds have been. Third round, I assume we're going to see a bit of a steamroll in either way, because that's just, you know, statistically, with how close these two rounds have been, we're probably going to see a steamroll in the third round, because usually you always see a steamroll in one of the two branches of MNF.
4 minutes to go. I'm sorry to cut you off, but 4 minutes to go. We have 4IB stacking up and breaching into the warehouse.
Yep.
It's a covering fire from multiple angles. Brooks somehow survives. Don't know how. Gets magged down, but he's still on his feet.
Luckily,
Out of his Humvee.
Broken's really lucky that rounds were able to come out to knock out Brook and Smith, but Junker's coming up.
Yeah, Junker actually is a combat engineer. He's picked up a 249 saw, but he needs to pull the pin on a satchel charge and toss it in there. And he does have a Red 4 long range on his back as well.
OPFOR's down to like 5 or 6 people by now.
Right? Like 3.5 minutes to go. There's a chance. Junker's on 3 kills. Spraying down as he walks past. Going in the side door. Gets his 4th.
Little Bird has landed, by the way. Pilot got out, and they're trying to pick off whoever is still left, but in all honesty, BLUFOR needs to focus on the actual terminal. There is some sort of sever of communication between BLUFOR, because you still have people focusing outside of the terminal where targets are. But again, you need to focus on the objectives, not the individual players here. And OPFOR might be able to capitalize on that.
From the south, we have Pads, Grums.
3 minutes.
This is gonna go to overtime. I really think so. Yanni now stacking up.
Only if they touch the terminal, though.
Ooh, Mike actually downs both Brooke and Smith. Yanni
That was a great.
inside this warehouse. Gazak coming up now. It's his.
Mike might have just won this for OPFOR, because he was able to snipe out those two guys. Gazank trying to take out Technic there, but Technic and Kahlo still able to hold, but Gaz now trying to breach.
For Tessic though, and he goes down to Tessic.
Unfortunate. Yanni now gonna breach to try to hold the position here, trying to put some shots on Technic, able to get the kill. And this is close.
Oh.
We have 2 minutes remaining. Johnny going down, but there's no one on BLUFOR. Close.
Wins.
That's GG. That is GG right there. So really,
God.
I'm drunk as fuck right now, but BLUFOR.
Hey, before you say anything more, you think you're drunk? Andrew's so drunk he responded to himself in my chat and insulted himself. So you could always be more drunk.
Okay. Okay, I see how it is.
You okay, Liru?
Yeah, I'm fine. I just had to take a drink of water after finishing the Vikings blood bottle, but yeah, no. The only reason OPFOR won this was because BLUFOR played this way too overcautious. They dedicated their Little Bird helicopters to ferrying forces instead of doing actual recon, and that is why they deployed forces way far to the west instead of bringing them closer to the actual objectives themselves. But anyway,
I think if they were able to, if BLUFOR was able to.
Ghostly, thank you so much for the 2,000 bits. Hope you've enjoyed the operations. Hope you get a kick out of this.
Speed up that timetable that they made for themselves. With how close that it ended up, if BLUFOR didn't have a need
oh my god,
so quick towards the end, they
dude, I just
really could have won.
Real quick, I just realized BLUFOR doesn't have anyone up. Everyone's down.
Yeah, there's also people
That's
alive
it.
just down.
It's fucking GG. Holy fucking shit.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. And Fred has stolen the little bird.
That's it.
He's going on a joyride over to BLUFOR base to go.
Yeah, X-Ray's stolen the fucking little bird, man. Holy fucking shit. But BLUFOR, they played it cautious because they thought OPFOR was going to deploy evenly among those 3 AOs. There is the victory when OPFOR wins, and that is round 2 done with. So,
Liru, I wish to be as drunk as you are. So I'm going to do something dumb. Are you ready?
Barb, yes, when I move into the townhouse, you will always have a spot there, and we can sleep with each other. What?
Yes, but no. I'm going to drink the rest of my Vikings blood as well, since I cannot be one-upped.